I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for ching and I'm on a pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Drone Brews. A little bit different because tonight we're streaming on a Thursday. We're usually streaming on Wednesdays, but in an effort to stay consistent and stream every single week, I decided to stream today since I was in Las Vegas for the past 4 days and didn't bring any gear with me. This was just more of a pleasure trip, not a business trip. So that being said, let me go ahead and bring in my esteemed colleague and co-host, Mr. Eddie Nunez. What's up, Edward?
What's up, Ken?
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
I know, a little different tonight because we're streaming on a Thursday. We usually stream on Wednesdays, but I figured, we'll do it later. I don't want to impede. I didn't want to impede on other people's streams and all that shit. So I tried to stream later. I was sort of inspired. I got a chance to meet Jay Leno this past week, and I was sort of inspired, and sort of like a little throwback because, remind me of the Late Show. And I was like, You know what? That's a good idea. We'll just stream a little bit later. It's a good thing to do. So here we are streaming at 10 p.m. versus 9 p.m. And, I'm not really too mad about it because we usually stream till about 10:30, almost 11 anyways. So that's just the Late Show, but some interesting news this week. We've got a lot to talk about and unpack here. We've also got some incredibly odd leaks and rumors that keep repeatedly coming up. So I think it's worth talking about. We'll also talk a little bit about some FPV stuff because I know I want to pick your brain along with maybe some others in the audience. You convinced me to purchase these AG01 gimbals for the TX16, which I did. And right before the show, I installed them. And haven't gotten a chance to fly them, but you were telling me that the Max version, the Radio Master TX16 Max, has some like a bit of an issue with these gimbals. They don't go all the way to the bottom. We'll talk about all that and so much more. So if you're joining in, you're watching this show after the live stream. Remember, this is a live stream. I try to think about doing timestamps, but if I'm not mentally thinking about what we're talking about and at what point, you're going to have to do the best you can to scrub through this in the interim. So I think first things first, let's go ahead and talk about DJI finally acknowledging the fact that there is definitively an issue with the Mavic 3 GPS. Eddie, when did the Mavic 3 first launch? Was that end of October, beginning of November, right?
Yes. I think beginning of November is when it launched. Yep.
So I remember I was heading to Hawaii. I had the Mavic 3 for about a week and a half or so. in November, and then boom, I was heading to Hawaii. And
Right.
I know, from November till now, the GPS has been a thorn in my side. It's been a thorn in other people's side. And I think at first, a lot of people weren't really saying anything because it was a new drone. It was like GPS isn't something you really complain about, right? Like with the DJI product, we're not all, we they weren't admitting it. Nobody reviewing the drone that
Right.
had this first, I think really gave it much of a thought that the GPS took a while.
Yeah.
Maybe they did, but they were like, yeah, maybe
It,
it's something with firmware or whatever, or
yeah.
they just didn't give it much of a thought.
It was probably not top of mind because you have that
Yeah,
excitement on a new product, so
right.
you figured it was probably not noticeable, I'm sure, because you're so excited about all the other features and just getting up in the air and just trying out the new drone.
Yeah, and I think that's like you sometimes get lost in the sauce of the drone being new. I will tell you through the duration of my ownership of it, I've waited on average about 5 minutes on average to lock satellites. And today, prime example, today I'm flying and I'm using it because I'm well outside of any sort of class C, class B airspace. It's basically I think it was class G airspace. And I was like, yeah, this is perfect. This house is way out in the middle of nowhere, no problem. Get out there, get everything done. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, we got to get these shots. We got to get everything done before it starts raining because it's been raining a lot down here. And sure as shit, it locks satellites, finally locks satellites, or I don't even think I heeded my own warning. I think I took off with like 9 satellites because I was like, shit, I gotta take the shot. I can't wait because it's gonna pour. And it finally did lock satellites, but it took like it felt like 6 minutes for it to lock, which is really aggravating because that's a prime example where I'm not necessarily shooting something that is moving where I have a time limit, but I am butting up against the weather where I've got to get the shot off fast. And I just couldn't do it in time. I mean, I think I landed, it was drizzling on the drone, which is not a big deal. I wouldn't imagine. So,
Yeah, and it's interesting because like I when you told me the topic of this stream, I was thinking back to my first experience and I was thinking through, I don't think, and maybe I didn't notice, like I said, but I don't think I'd had GPS issues up
well,
until
or is it that you didn't notice because it's not something you think
right,
about? Like we've been flying the Mavic 2, the Air 2, the Air 2S for so long, right? And
right,
we've not had GPS problems since maybe the older Phantom days. Maybe the Mavic Pro had some GPS lagginess, some slowness to it. But it's these products have been so good. The GPS has been so good on these products for so long that you don't really think about it until it's brought up and then you start timing it and you're like, "Oh yeah, I am waiting a little bit for it to actually lock."
yeah. It's interesting that they can fix it via firmware. I wonder what
Right.
took so long. I mean,
Well,
the mat. Uh-huh.
you think what if it's been fine? What if the GPS has been reading incorrectly in the software? Like, because you ever notice how sometimes it fluctuates? Like you'll lock 11 satellites, and then all of a sudden it goes back down to 9 satellites. Like,
Yes.
how do
Yes.
you lose a lock after I mean, I don't understand that aspect of it. But what if it's been reading correctly? Like it's been locking the satellites efficiently, but the software there's been a flaw. You would think they would have addressed that long ago, right?
Right. Oh, that's a valid point. I didn't even think about that, but that's true. I
It's
think
just peculiar. Like
yeah,
all of a sudden now they're like, yeah, we're gonna fix this via firmware. That's sort of scary to me in a sense because let's say they fix this firmware and we don't know as the average Joe user, you're like, I'm just gonna use my drone like I normally would. And let's just say they're sort of hiding the actual count or allowing it to take off with a lesser count of satellites and somebody has a flyaway, magnetic interference, or whatever the case is, or their home points aren't as accurate as they once were, that could be a scary thing. That
it
could be a
is.
really scary thing.
Yeah. And we had a lot of flyaway scenarios at the beginning,
Yeah.
but we were hearing a lot of it. I don't know if that's calmed down or it's just that people are
I
not
I think we're
reporting that.
past the hype. I think we're past the hype of, um the Mavic 3. I think, it's been out for a while now. It's sort of dying down as far as the hype goes. People are like, all right, it's sort of settled in as far as, the drone itself, right? Like everybody's made every fucking video that they could possibly make with it. For Christ's sakes, we strapped it to a freaking Sicario. I mean,
Nice.
we
That was
can't
a cool
do
video.
much else with it, right? What more can we do with this drone to talk about it at this point? I think at this, like, I mean, unless if they made some brand new feature or something, a software update. Otherwise, it's the hype sort of died down. People have gotten it. They've learned to deal with it. It is what it is. As far as the price goes, it is what it is as far as the performance goes as of right now.
Yeah. Now, did I know DJI made some sort of an official announcement, right, around admitting this? Did they
Yeah.
indicate when we'll see the firmware?
There's no indication, but knowing DJI, if they made an admittance to it, here's my thought when it comes to DJI. If they've admitted that they've acknowledged, it's not even admitting, it's them acknowledging, taking a time to say, yes, we hear you, we understand that there is a problem. Now, I'm in a Facebook group, the DJI official owners group, and in that group, I was asked for logs for the GPS, which I totally fucked up and never provided logs, but they were asking for logs on the Mavic 3. So my thought is they've been working on this for a while and that they wouldn't essentially acknowledge it unless they know they can fix it, right? Because if you can't fix it with firmware, now you have a hardware issue. Why would you acknowledge a problem if you knew you couldn't fix it with firmware? So I believe that they can fix it with firmware. Otherwise, I don't think they would have acknowledged that. Because wouldn't that be a bigger issue? Is if you have a hardware issue and you acknowledge that, then you're going to have all these exchanges on your hands and doing RMAs and all this crap, which that's a bit of a problem. That becomes an expensive affair for a manufacturer at that point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, at least that's what I see, anyways. I think they're going to fix it, and I think it's going to be just fine. I hope, anyways, because I mean, it's been image wise. There's just nothing. There's nothing that really competes at the same level as of right now. Not that I've tried, anyways,
And
for
and
this
it
price.
and it flies so well. Like I have confidence flying the Mavic 3 for some reason. Especially, you remember what I was doing with the Mavic 2 Pro? I was
Yeah.
strapping a zip tie around the
Right.
battery. So now
But I
having
never had confidence issues with the Mavic 2 Pro. The Mavic 2 Pro was the one drone, as long as you knew that your batteries weren't swelling, the Mavic 2 Pro was the one drone I would just send it. I would never even second guess it. It's taking me a little bit longer to get the confidence that I had with the Mavic 2 Pro with the Mavic 3. I'm pretty much back to where I was before, where I feel better like around urban environments and situations where I'd be like, really don't know about this. But I think the Mavic 3 at this point has sort of, you know, I want to say rejuvenated that confidence that I don't have to worry about it taking off or potentially having that flyaway concern like I thought at first. I mean, obviously, you still have to do everything you can to mitigate those risks,
right.
but I mean, and the risk is always still there, right? These are flying machines, and they're not perfect still, but I think we're definitely on the right track with this drone.
Yeah. And it's really just the first battery I've noticed. Like, I've experienced those delays in getting a GPS lock, but
Yeah,
it's just that initial first battery. After that, you pop in the additional batteries
yeah,
and you're golden. But I mean, I understand, like in your situation where you're fighting against time and maybe you have the perfect lighting conditions for your real estate, or you have, your day scheduled and planned and you only have a limited time.
right.
5 minutes, 10 minutes for you is very excessive.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but I mean, it is like today with the weather, I was like, crap, there's nothing we can do. It is what it is. I just have to hope that I get the shot off before it starts pouring, and that's just insult to injury after that point. Um, but I mean, I still use like I still travel with two drones. Like when I go on these shoots, I still bring the Evo Light with me. So if I'm really really pinched for a situation, I'll utilize that drone. But you know what? Even though the GPS locks super fast on the Evo Light, here's something though that's really frustrating about that drone. GPS locks super fast, but if you don't calibrate the gimbal before flying it, you have a tilted horizon on
Oh,
that drone.
really?
So you have to calibrate the gimbal. So that sort of negates the purpose of it even having a fast GPS. It has a fast GPS, but if you don't calibrate the camera, you have a tilted horizon. So it's like, what the hell? So you almost can't win sometimes. So I'm really hoping that this new firmware fixes the issue. That way, it's just one less thing I have to worry about. And, we're sort of like a step closer to that perfect drone.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we are at the complete package for in terms of firmwares, right? Remember at the beginning we had limited features, and then we
Right.
received I think two additional firmwares already. So I think everything is essentially a locked. Now it's just about fixing a few bugs such as the GPS.
Yeah, and again, once they fix the GPS issues, we get past that. I think we're going to be in good shape. But it's getting past that point and getting there to where it is fixed. So I think once we're there, we're good. And I think a lot of people will sort of back off on that. So but we'll have to wait and see. My guess is for the firmware update, it will be closer towards April than this month. Maybe this month. I mean, it would be great if it's this month, but it also depends on if they're going to release anything in the month of April. I would imagine there's a release on the horizon. There's just way too many leaks. Nothing in the
Mhm.
FCC as of yet. But we are seeing a tremendous amount of Mavic Mini 3 leaks, which I think is sort of
Yeah,
sort of interesting. Some
yeah.
really big wishes, right? Some big
Yes.
wishes from people with some of these leaks, which
Yeah.
I mean, I never rule anything out, but some of these leaks are just like very far-fetched for what the Mini 3 actually is, right?
Yeah, I think, you know, the big elephant in the room for me when I look at the rumors is that smart controller. I
But
just
but
don't
do
s
you see that happening though? Like,
I
why would they make an entirely different smart controller, an entirely different RC Pro for the Mini 3, which is their budget leader. That drone's meant to get people into the hobby. Now, unless they're going to release something and call it the Mini Pro or something like that. I mean, that would be dope. I mean, that would be amazing, but I just don't see it. It doesn't seem like the trajectory that DJI would take as far as a product roadmap goes.
I agree. I think having a smart controller on a Mini 3 is kind of an overreach, but
It really
like you
is.
like you said, I
Wouldn't be mad
wouldn't
about
really
it.
right, exactly. Like it might be
But
possible, who knows?
let me ask you a question. As somebody who has multiple DJI products, would you want to have another smart controller? Like if you had the RC Pro and you can connect up to the Mini 3, if that's what it is or when it comes out, would you want all these controllers? I think there's a point where it's just sort of like, I don't want all these different controllers. I mean, you have
Yeah.
the RC Pro, but I just don't see them doing that
I
because here you would have a $600 RC Pro or something with like, they call it the budget, whatever is what they claimed in some of these rumors. And then you would have a $500. So you're at $1,100 right there. I just think that's a hell of a stretch of an imagination, really.
Yeah. On the flip side, I think what Mavic 3 owners are hoping for is that this does become true and
Yeah.
that there is an RC Pro that's OcuSync 3 so that they can link it to their Mavic 3 if you didn't get the RC Pro. So they're looking at it as a bargain package or a bargain deal. Well, hey, I can now have a smart controller, even if it's like a lower budget smart controller, but I still have that big screen. I'm not using my phone, and now I can link it to my Mavic 3, and now I also
Yeah.
have
Well,
a
let
mini
me let
3.
me let me ask you this question. Do you think because of the price point of what we've seen from the Evo Nano Plus, do you think that is twisting DJI's hands to go a little bit more premium on a Mini 3 with whatever they're working on? And I'm sure there's something already ready, like, right? I
Right.
feel like with DJI, they always have an answer to a competitor's product, right? They always have an answer in the wing. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, it's just a matter of when. And the Mini has been so successful from the Mini 1 to the Mini 2. It's been a very successful drone. Even the Mini SC, which is just like a rehashed Mini, it was a very successful drone for them and getting people that wouldn't buy a drone before to purchase a drone due to the price point. And now here we are, we have inflation hitting us on all ends. You have gas prices basically putting their foot up our ass so deep it can be considered a prostate exam.
Hmm.
Um, I
Well,
mean, where do they come in price wise with the Mini 3 at this point?
you make a valid point because Billy Kyle's in the chat and he just put 1100 sounds like the Nano. Well, imagine now the Mini 3 standard bundle is 1100, right? The Fly More is like, let's call it 1350, 1400, and then
Yeah.
you have the Mini Pro with a smart controller, 2200.
Well, and that's the thing is we're gonna see after after their next release what the prices are, because remember these new tariffs are going to affect future drone imports now. They weren't affecting drone imports before. They are now, and that was something that was just after the first of the year that really started. It's going to affect imports. Now, if there's any stock that's already here, it doesn't necessarily affect it, but anything new being imported into the country, it's going to affect. So we'll see if, they're going to levy that down, which you would think at some point we're going to start leveling out with the pricing, because chip shortages should be chip manufacturers should be getting caught up, I would imagine. The COVID crisis seems to be all but forgotten now. So manufacturers are back to work, production's ramping. Hopefully suppliers are getting caught up on those backfill chip orders, and we're maybe on the route to see, the market stabilizing as far as drone products go. Um, but I don't know. I think it's going to be expensive. I think if they
I,
do a Mini 3, it's going to be expensive. I think
yeah,
they're going to go premium.
I think there's a whole new baseline for technology now. A whole new baseline. I mean, not to compare it to other items, but look at Apple. Apple just released new products. They just released new
Yeah.
computers. Look at the price points that everything technology wise is coming in at.
It's all like a step up, right? Like
Yeah.
everything price wise has moved like a notch up. Like, and the problem is us as consumers, right? We're to blame for this, right? We're to blame for this because every time there's an increase in the pricing, guess what we do? We still purchase that product. Instead of not buying something because it's new, we no, we buy it, we pay the price, we pay that premium, and guess what? The manufacturer says, "Oh, we just moved a rung up in that bar. We just moved one rung up in the threshold of what the market will be willing to bear." So we're the blame for that, because we go out and we buy this, and it's a vicious cycle, and they keep moving that up. And with this past pandemic, they've had a lot of excuses. All the manufacturers have had a shit ton of excuses as to why pricing has went up. But I want to know, like 2-3 years from now, what will they be blaming then? Like, what will they be
Right.
blaming then? Why is this price going up? Shortage of materials? What, we're going to blame it on another war? I mean, what?
Right.
It's
But
really
it,
interesting.
yeah, they definitely have us hooked though. I think
Oh yeah, we're screwed. We're
yeah,
screwed.
we will figure it out and buy it.
I mean, if a Mini 3 came out tomorrow and it checked all of the boxes of something, let's say, like if it was a Mini like Air 2S, right? Like a smaller version of the Air 2S, had that 1-inch sensor, had all these amazing features, and it was more pro than it was consumer, I'm not going to lie, I would buy it. I hate small drones because I feel like with a small drone, it's a compromise. I feel like you're compromising almost every step of the way. It's like, why buy a compact car if you can get more, like the same thing for more? It's like, I don't know. It,
Yeah.
I
No, I
just
get
don't
it. I
see
get
I
it.
don't see the benefit. I don't see the benefit, but it's definitely it's a cash grab, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, but we need those things out there right now. I mean, they do need to give an answer to the Nano, um, because I mean the Nano's okay. It's okay. Like that latest firmware update has helped a lot, but it's not like that's not a go-to drone for me. Like that's just not a go-to drone. Like if if I was, I'm in a country where $5 lets me fly a drone that weighs more than 250 grams. So what do I give a shit? Like, why would that's just not a drone I'm gonna grab. And there's a lot of people, they're like, y'all hate the Nano. And it's like, no, it's just that's not what I would grab first.
Yeah,
It's not what I would grab first. Like
I agree.
if if I was in a strip club and the Nano was was a chick with a small ass, and the light was a chick with a big ass. Guess which chick I'm going to go for first? Who's going to get my $20 for the lap dance? I'm going to go to the light every single time. That light's going to get my $20. And I may take maybe 1, 2, 3 songs. Hell, we may even go back and do a champagne room. I don't know. But that's where I'm going every single time. I'm going to choose the light. Hopefully that's an analogy y'all can understand.
Absolutely. I'm on board.
I mean, you're on board with that.
I
Mangoes for life.
concur.
Um,
Now,
so
switching back really quick to the Mavic, did you see Osida's tweet around the Explore camera, the zoom camera?
I did see that. It looks like the lens has changed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it has changed. It did.
Yeah,
I did see that tweet.
Yeah, I wonder if that's factual though. Like, is there drones out there with a different camera right now? I looked at mine and it's not that oval shaped one. It's the original zoom camera.
I mean, unless if they identified some sort of issue and they went back and said, all right, we have to make a change, but this change is going to be so subtle that only somebody who really sat there and scrutinized the lens of this camera would notice, right? That would be the absolute only way somebody would notice that, is if they sat there and truly scrutinized it. That would be the only way.
True. But I mean, if that is factual, it would be another stab at the release of the Mavic 3 with so many hiccups, so many opportunities, because now as a consumer, I might feel left out. I have a Mavic 3 now with an outdated, quote unquote outdated camera, and there's a new one out there with a better or improved camera.
To be fair, who they're what page of the book they're taking this out of. You know where they're doing this, where they release a product and they're making changes as they go along and putting out different hardware. You know who does that more than anybody? Take a guess. Tesla does that, where they'll put something out and there's a problem and they're like, okay, well, we're just going to go back and we're going to revise that problem on the next batch of vehicles that come out. So then the next batch of vehicles have the problem fixed, but everybody who bought it beforehand has to go back and keep complaining about the issue until that gets fixed. So that's a Tesla thing that they do, and DJI is doing that because, again, if nobody's complaining about the problem, because they're rolling the dice on the fact that the vast majority of users didn't buy the Mavic 3 to use the telephoto lens. The vast majority of users probably bought the Mavic 3 for the main camera lens. I can tell you, I've used the telephoto lens maybe like 4 times, and out of those 4 times, 2 of those times were accidental. I clicked the button and it toggled over.
That's a valid point. Same here. I never use the Explore cam. I go out there and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, today I'm gonna go and try and do some, try out and test the Explore cam, and then I go out there and I never go into it.
Yeah, I never use the Explorer camera. I was contemplating the other day. I was trying to, I forgot what we were doing. Oh, we were looking for a missing person, and I was like, oh, I'll flip it over, and I was like, yeah, it's not bad. It's digitally, but it was too dense to do anything with it. But that would be the one use case where I would say, okay, that's actually a good thing to use it for.
Yes, so. Absolutely.
But we'll have to see what they do with that, or see if anything more comes up.
See how that evolves. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait. We'll see. We'll keep monitoring that. I mean, I'm sure as more people start getting these in their hands, I mean, the big thing is the vast majority of pilots that we know, they're not on Twitter. So they missed those tweets from Osita. So if you're not on Twitter, you should be on Twitter. Go sign up for a Twitter account, because that's where news happens real fast. They're like all these leaks, all the things we talk about happens on Twitter. Right there on the screen is Eddie's name. That's his screen handle for Twitter. And that's my screen handle for Twitter. So go follow us there. And then you can also follow anybody in that circle, because anytime there's something happening, that's where that usually breaks first. It happens on Twitter before anywhere else. So, Eddie, you talked me into these gimbals. I don't like them, dude. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't like the RC, man. I still don't like the TX16. I don't like it. It doesn't feel as comfortable. Even even though these gimbals do feel amazing, they do feel amazing. It's just I'm a little leery of plugging in, knowing that this one doesn't sit all the way down. Like when I go up like full throttle down or like zeroed out, it's not necessarily all the way down at the bottom. And neither is this one. Like this one sits centered, but even here, this is not fully up, this is not fully down. So
But
you said that there's a problem with the TX16 Max,
yeah, is it
but
is it not going all the way down because the stick is touching like the rim?
no, it's not even touching anything. Like I don't know like if I need to adjust these screws, like back
You
them
might
way the fuck out or something.
you might have to. I'm going to see if I find the video that talks specifically about the
Yeah.
max version of the Radio Master. But you're right. I think
I mean,
that
I
radio
just like
has
smaller
yeah.
radios.
Yeah, the radio has a big form factor. I like
It's
what
just
you
got a
said in your
wide form
recent
factor.
yeah, I like what you said in your recent video where those switches are so old school. I mean, this is like ancient. Like they need to make these switches
Yeah.
more modern. Maybe make it like the what's that other small one? Like the Tango, right? Or the
Yeah, yeah,
DJI.
like we need more like recessed switches. But even those switches have problems because if you make them recessed, any sort of dirt or anything that gets in there, now it sort of binds. And on my Mambo, the left switch, I never used that sort of recessed push button switch, but that actually sticks a little bit. Even the momentary switch on the right-hand side of my Mambo sticks just because you put it in and out of your bag, you're taking it out, you have it in a dusty environment. You're
Mhm.
going to get debris in there. It's inevitable. Um, but I mean, this was easy to install these gimbals. Like
Yeah, very easy.
these gimbals feel great. I just need to now bind up a quad, right? And I need to just see what the throttle is saying, because if the throttle is showing 0, okay, great, it's at 0, but then I'm wondering if maybe I have to redo the offset for the model on here, where the offset is actually showing where it's actually at 0. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? You put
right, right.
put the
Yeah.
offset in there.
Yeah, you have to calibrate them.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I like the Radio Master. That's my go-to. It's an uncomfortable
I
radio to travel with because it's
it's not a
big.
radio that you can use without a lanyard. That's
Mhm.
the other thing, is you need
Correct,
to have a lanyard
correct.
with the TX16. Like with
Yes.
my Mambo, there's so many times where I forget my lanyard and I can fly with the Mambo, no problem. I would never do that. Like with the TX16, I
No,
have to have a freaking lanyard.
it's very uncomfortable to fly without one.
It's cumbersome. And people are like, well, just practice trying to fly it. But like, yeah, no, it's not the same. Like these feel better. Like I feel like the throw on them are definitely better, but I wouldn't say like it's not perfect. It's not perfect. And I'm super meticulous and like particular with like my stick throw. I like that shorter throw. I always have.
Yeah.
And this just, I don't know. This
Well,
is like sort of there.
I would recommend adjusting them.
Yeah.
Upgrade to Edge TX if you haven't done
No, I'm
so
not gonna
already.
upgrade the Edge TX though. I'll tell you why, because there's
Why?
still some unstable things about it I don't like. And then if I upgrade, I got to go through and set up all the models and all the bullshit all over again. This is already set up. I don't give a fuck about a touch screen and all that stuff. I don't care about those things. I
And I
don't like,
hear
I'm not like that nerdy with the radio.
uh,
Like I just want it
Edge
to feel good.
Edge TX did solve. I heard like it does something. I'm not sure. I'm not into all the stuff. But I heard that it didn't fix the latency, but it transmits the packets faster, or there's some sort of it's doing something better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edge
I
TX is
never
doing
had a
something
problem
better.
with OpenTX though. Like I've never really had any problems with OpenTX or or hell, I'm using on the Mambos use Freedom TX. So, I've never had a problem with those either. And I just find it to be like more legwork to go through and update and do all that shit to get it where I need it to be. But I am going to try to calibrate this, and like I said, after a show tonight, I'm gonna bind up one of the quads. I'll take all the props off, bind it up, and see if I see what I can see as far as where, like I said, the worst thing I want to have happen is I arm
And that shit
and,
takes off.
and that shit takes off. Like that would be the worst
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. No.
That would be the worst thing. So I don't want that to happen. So
Uh,
my goal is hopefully to get this function in today so I can fly a couple of packs, Sunday or something, whenever it stops raining, to really see how this actually performs. Cause I mean, it does feel good, but we'll see.
yeah, it's premium. Like it feels premium compared to what was there before. Like when I took out
Yeah.
those wall gimbals, I'm like, wow, this is cheap. It's all plastic.
Yeah. And that's the thing is they don't make these gimbals for every radio, which sort of sucks, right? And that is a big complaint I do have with the Mambo is the Mambo's build quality is so cheap. It's like inferior to the TX16S, which sucks because you think TBS would want to make a radio that it's a little more prideful in a sense.
Like
It's
like a
like pro,
yeah, like a flagship radio for the
yeah,
FPV community,
like a
considering their
flagship
brand.
radio.
Yeah,
But every release that they have done since the original Tango has been just garbage. I'm a sucker for anything that feels better or can last longer. And I'll say the Hall gimbals in the TX16S, they were okay. They were fine. But I just don't like the stick throw. That's my only thing. I don't like the stick throw on them. I like that shorter throw.
but you can definitely adjust it on that. And I'm glad you didn't get
Yeah.
the LEDs because then that would have been even worse.
Yeah,
Then the
I
LEDs
wasn't
would
gonna
have
do the
make it
LEDs. I wasn't gonna do the LEDs because I'm like, I'm not gonna see the freaking LEDs. And the last thing I want to do is be doing like flying in covert or something. And then somebody's like, "Oh, what's that lit
no.
up over there? Oh,
Yeah,
there he is. Let's go
yeah.
rob him or something." I don't know. I just look back and think, yeah, it's just not. And plus, two, you said it drained the battery pretty quick.
It did.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I
I
have
put
it
a
on
pretty
mine.
big battery in here. I
You
have
have
that
the
5000.
Oh, okay, so you would have been good then.
So I
I
would
don't
have been
have that
fine.
big
This
one.
this
Yeah,
battery this battery is just a beast. You get it from Race Day Quads. It's a freaking beast.
I know, I need to get
Um,
that battery.
I mean, it's just stays charged forever. So, but I mean, yeah, I'm gonna try. Like I said, I've got the sticks all calibrated, so I know all that's good. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead, set up a model, set the KISS model, and try to fix it all up and go
Yeah,
from
give it
there.
a try, let me know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll give it a try. You know what it is too? It's like rebinding shit is like a pain in the ass.
It's a hassle, yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. They don't make it.
Yeah,
They don't make it easy. And a lot of times when you build a quad, you don't make it easy on yourself because you don't make it easy to get to that bind button, which sort of
right.
sucks. Um, but it is what it is in that regard. So I'm not too concerned about that. Um, but yeah, I think that's all we got for news. You put out a video just recently. You put out a video, the FPV drone 1 year later, which I thought was a great video, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you ever fix your thumbnail though?
No, I didn't. I've
Yeah,
been
you
at
need
work
you
all
need to
day.
fix that thumbnail.
No, I will. I took different angles. I have the different angle that you recommended.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went with that one, but I've been at work all day. I just got in like around
You mean
7
you
in
actually
the
work?
morning. Yeah, I work, man.
Oh, I didn't know you worked. I
Yeah,
thought you
I
just
know.
I thought you did this all day. Anyways, I'm gonna drop a link in here. Go check out Eddie's latest video, the DJI FPV drone 1 year later. I think it's really one of the only videos out there on it. I fucked up. I made a big mistake. I
What did you do?
so I had two sets of goggles. I gave one set of goggles away.
Right.
And when I did that, I left antennas on there, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll buy another set of antennas. But I don't want to rebind the FPV drone to my current goggles because
Oh
then
yeah.
then I lose all my binds for all my Caddx Vistas and all my air
Yes.
units.
Yes.
Isn't that a stupid thing?
It is. It
It's
is.
so stupid. Like I'll have to rebind everything else. So I'm gonna buy another set of goggles, right? I'm gonna buy another set of goggles just for the FPV drone so I can fly it. Like that's how stupid I am, right? I'm gonna buy another set of goggles just to fly the freaking drone. Um,
That is the most dumbest thing ever.
it's
And then
stupid. Like fix that. Like
yeah,
it's been
that's
a freaking year and the goggles don't have flash memory to remember the binds with other air units. Like what type of shit is that?
yeah. There's a lot of updates that they just missed.
They just
on
sort
the
of
DJI FPV, the whole system.
they gave up on it, dude. They
Yeah,
gave up on it. At this
even
point,
yeah,
DJI just needs to permanently license out the digital FPV shit to somebody else. Like just say, here, Cadex, you can make your own goggles. If you want to make goggles for the FPV drones or the digital FPV system, make your own goggles. But like let's separate the two. Let's not use the same shit that we're using with the FPV drone because clearly there's a problem where you cannot swap between FPV drone and FPV quads that run digital because you lose all the binding, which is so stupid in my
yes, yeah.
opinion.
And it's crazy when you return back to the DJI FPV, you have to rebind everything.
Right.
ERC,
So
even
what's the point? There's
everything.
no convenience of that shit. There is literally no convenience. It's like they engineered the living shit out of all this. They made it amazing. The transmission's beautiful. They built a goggle identical to first generation goggles, which there's nothing
Exactly.
wrong with that. But oh, by the way, we didn't build in any way to keep the memory of what you bound before that. Like, why? Why did you? Why? It's so
Yeah,
frustrating.
it is.
It's
It is. It
annoying. I
doesn't
would
make
have
any
rather
sense.
them. I don't know.
Like maybe make a unique set of goggles. Well, no, because then that would have screwed up if you want to progress in FPV. I was gonna say a unique set of goggles specific to the DJI
Oh,
FPV and just leave it like
oh,
that.
Lon just burned Maddie so hard. God, boy.
What he said.
Maddie said something about me because I gave Matt the goggles. I
Oh,
don't. When I give stuff, I give it for keeps.
yeah.
Um, if I had one
I was
regret,
like, return
I
this
would have
shit.
changed. I would have changed the nubbies out on them though. That's the only thing I would have did. I would have put the other true RC antennas on the ones that aren't 2.4 and 5.8.
Yeah.
Um, that would be the only thing I would have changed in that whole deal. But I will probably order another set of goggles tonight, like because I want to fly the drone, and there's certain situations where I need that for the GoPros. So I'll probably just snag another one. Um, yeah, I'll probably just snag another one in that sense.
But you are
Wait,
Oprah.
and Flyzone's telling me that Maddie changed the antennas. Jesus. Well, maybe.
Maddie, give the antennas back.
No, I don't need the goggles. I mean, I just need to fly the drone. I need to fly
Oh,
the
there
drone.
you go.
Good.
He said he'll send
I'll
you the stubbies.
he said he'll send me some. I'll pick the stubbies up when we do our meetup. I'm gonna be end of March. So Doom Rider and I are trying to work this out, but we're thinking Saturday the 26th. So Saturday, March 26th. It'll be somewhere down on the West Coast there. I'm probably gonna end up getting a hotel for the weekend or something. I'll come down like on a Friday to the 27th, and we're just going to go fly, and it's just going to be mostly FPV. We're not doing any like the GPS stuff. It's mostly going to be for the FPV guys. Just try to hit up a bunch of locations. Hopefully I don't break a lot of shit because like then I'm going to have like literally like no time to fix it before I go to North Carolina. But figure go down there the end of March because I'm not going to make it to the South Florida meetup, but I know there's a lot of people that are down there now currently. So we'll probably do like a meetup before the meetup type of thing, but mostly just for FPV shit, just for the FPV stuff, nothing really else.
FPV is the way to go.
Yeah, and it's fun, and there's a lot of great bandos out there, and there's just a lot of great spots that I haven't flown yet, and a lot of amazing pilots. And there's a good portion of Team Gem fan that's down there. I got Baldman FPVs down there, Doom Riders down there. I know Captain Collins down there. So a lot of people that fly are all East Coast Florida, and there's amazing spots that I haven't been to that they know about. Drain Man's over there, so it'd be really great to link up with a lot of those people and to be able to fly some of those locations before heading north because one obviously weather is going to be amazing and it's just going to be awesome. So um but yeah, we'll try to get that worked out. When am I coming to North Carolina? I'm going to be going to North Carolina on April 1st. So April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And then I think we're leaving on Monday the 4th. So like we're pretty much just driving straight through, going to the event, And then we're dipping out of there, probably gonna like Bernard and I are gonna go fly somewhere. We're talking about Atlanta, but we're not 100% positive yet. I looked at how to get there, and it looks like it takes you up 95. So that's what it looks like, which is a good thing because Bernard was like, "Hey, I got a convertible and I like to keep it indoors." I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
So that's perfect. That works great for me because then I could just scoop over, pick them up from Orlando, and then we're juking. We could just hit 95, which is perfect. So that works excellent for me. So, but that'll be a good trip. But I would love to come back down and go through Atlanta. I think it's
Atlanta
like a
has
must,
some
or
sick spots.
somewhere,
I've
or
always
even
wanted,
Savannah.
yeah, I've
Savannah would be fun.
always wanted to visit Atlanta and just hit up like numerous office buildings and
But
just
you know what the
fly.
problem is though? It's like what you see on YouTube. Like you get there and then you get kicked out of there so fucking fast. That's the problem.
Oh, that sucks.
Unless you're flying on a Sunday or something, you're going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
When I was there, I went up on a Saturday to a Sunday and I got kicked out on Saturday from one of the locations. I got kicked out of there rather quickly.
They
Sunday
probably
didn't get kicked out of anywhere.
they probably already know. They're probably tuned to the sound of an FPV drone.
Yeah.
Security guards like, oh, there goes those assholes again.
What's that? Oh, for the drones. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lon says, yeah, he ditched me Florida and going to road trip with someone else. Lon. You know, I was poised with there was a pivot in a sense. I was poised with, okay, there's an event tailored 155% to FPV in an entirely different state that is drivable, right? It's drivable. Or go to the South Florida meetup, which would have been fun, but it was it's a 1 day thing and it's not really geared towards FPV. So I chose to go to the latter of two or the North Carolina event because it's more geared to where my mindset is right now. That's the reason why I chose to go that one. No, nothing personal to anybody, of course. Just keep in mind,
And
Carthage is a very small town. Yep.
and
Yep.
it's
It
different.
definitely is.
It's different.
Yeah.
Being in South Florida versus going to a new location.
Yeah. I like traveling. I like traveling. Anytime I can go somewhere, there's somewhere different. Like this past weekend, we were in Vegas and I didn't bring any drones. I didn't bring any cameras. And it was really, really refreshing to just not do anything, to not film, to
So
not work, not have a
no,
computer. I didn't bring my computer with me. It was amazing. One, because traveling on an airplane is great. You just pull your luggage off, and if you lose it, who gives a shit? Because it's just clothes. That was awesome. And then two, it was sort of freeing in a sense because there was nothing to worry about. You just enjoy the moment a little bit more.
it sounds like no regrets not bringing any gear.
Oh no regrets. Um, we got there Sunday, 8 a.m. in the morning, did breakfast, and we're walking down the strip. It was my brother-in-law and I, and we were walking down the strip. And he says, I keep seeing people drinking. Should we be drinking? And I said, absolutely, let's start drinking. So I remember we walk up to one of those like bars and it was open. It was literally like 10 in the morning or something. And we just started drinking. And from there, it snowballed. It snowballed. Like, I don't understand how it escalated so fast, but I mean, it was insane. It escalated fast. And I think at one point we ended up back in the hotel room and we're watching Temptation Island. Have you ever
What
seen
the hell?
Temptation Island,
Yeah.
Eddie? What a
Yeah, yeah.
what an insane show.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just like I was on an emotional roller coaster on that whole show. I couldn't believe it. Temptation Island.
I know. I
Nobody
remember
makes
you text me, you said, I feel like I need to get my liver pumped or some shit like
Oh god, if they had a place where they can pump your liver or something, I needed it. I needed it.
that.
I woke up on Monday morning and I was just like the most hungover I've ever been in my entire life. Like in my entire no, not my entire life, but in the most recent years. Like that's how hungover I was. And I
Well,
don't usually like get that
he was
feeling.
he was pretty wrecked here in New York for a wedding in Long
I
Island.
was wrecked for the wedding, but yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was actually a good
I
one.
think, yeah, I mean,
But I woke up and I was fine. I was able to make it to the airport and it was fine. That was okay. This was different because um we finished an entire bottle of wine, right? And wine just hits you
oh
different. Like
yes. And then if you mix it,
13% alcohol.
and
I
I hope
guess I
you
didn't
didn't
think
mix it.
about it,
Did you mix it
but
with anything else?
we were doing whiskey sours,
Oof. And wine. Oh
and
my god.
wine. We had a bottle
Oh
of
my
wine, and
god.
then we transitioned to. So we went somewhere where, I mean, we felt old very fast. Um, you know, but we went somewhere and then we got very old very quick, and it was we transitioned over to beer
Oh
due
my
to
god. So you
due
did
to
the
the
mix.
cost of liquor, like due to the cost of
Yeah.
liquor in this place. And yeah, it was just all
So you
downhill,
had the
man.
holy grail, the trios, wine,
Yeah,
whiskey
we did the
sours, and
whole
beer.
gamut.
Oh
Did the whole
man.
gamut. So never again, man. Never again. So
Greg from Pilot Institute says Ken is the Pope Catholic.
is the Pope Catholic?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. The Pope is not Catholic. The Pope why did he say that?
You
Shabbat.
probably referenced something. I don't know.
You know, I think I texted him or something. I said something.
You,
I
you
said something.
you probably said something and he's not linking it back.
He is. I don't remember what I said. I know I did text him or I messaged him during this episode. Um, I don't recall. I don't
Uh,
recall.
he'll help you recall.
I mean, it was it was a mess. I missed the
Oh, he
first
said I
part of
missed
his
the
joke.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Greg's like this. He's, it comes through like dry, that dry humor, that dry heat humor. It's that Prescott dry air humor.
Should we be drinking? The answer is the Pope Catholic. I guess that was it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It means should we drink?
Should we drink? Is the Pope Catholic? There you go.
Is the
I think
Pope
I missed that one.
I missed it. It didn't connect because I said it and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
There's some fast people out there. There's some fast people out there still. That's good. That's good. I didn't do a cigar. I should have had a cigar while I was out there. I didn't even smoke a single cigar. I will tell you the flight coming home was pretty bad. It was probably it was the roughest flight.
The one leaving out of JFK back to Florida.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, because they had to de-ice the plane.
Oh right,
Which is we
we had bad weather.
Did you have bad weather?
Yeah,
It
we had
wasn't bad when we were leaving. It was just the overcast was really, really thick. And I guess you were supposed to get snow. I don't know if it did snow.
had ice.
Okay, you had ice. Maybe that's why they were de-icing us. But it was like only like 35 out or something when we were leaving. But I guess because it was raining, they
Was-
didn't want that water to freeze.
It was sticking. Well, the sidewalk was all
Okay.
full of ice. Yeah, it was sticking to the
Yeah.
ground even at 35.
Well, yeah. So they de-iced the plane. But I'll tell you what, that flight up, like
You felt it.
shaking, rocking, and rolling. And then
Yeah.
there were storms. There were storms the whole way down the coast. So as we're going down the coast, the plane is doing it's like where it's dropping like 5-10 feet at a clip.
Mhm.
And I'm just
Oh,
like,
you feel that, yeah.
they couldn't bring me alcohol fast enough. Like, keep it coming.
Are they serving alcohol again?
Yeah,
on
they're
flights?
serving alcohol
Yeah?
again.
Oh, cool.
And we are only 1 month away before you can board a flight without a mask. You're 1 month. One more month, they extended it. So the groundhog saw his shadow. So it's
Right.
1 more month of you have to wear a mask on a flight because the groundhog saw their shadow. So
I think the 18th.
one more.
April 18th, I believe.
April 18th, you can take it off, and then hopefully there's no more fights on the planes and all that good shit. Because Vegas, there was none. There was no mask. There was nothing. So I mean, it was great. It was a good trip. I didn't get sick. I got tested. I didn't bring home nothing. Everything was good. The only thing I think I brought back was chlamydia. So I mean, that's a win. That's a win.
This guy.
I mean, it was a win. So I mean, it was good. But yeah, it was that was a rough ass flight though. But it's not bad. Like if it wasn't like terrible though, because the alcohol made it better.
Right.
So there's that. I think even the pilot came out and had a drink. So I mean that's how that went. So but good weekend overall. So But I think that'll do it. We're at 10:56. That's it, man. I
It was a
mean,
good stream. It was a good.
good
It
stream.
was
We
a.
kept it moving.
Yeah, I like it. It was like a mellow, nice concurrent stream
You know what
at
it is? I'm
10
still
p.m.
jet lagged. I'm still tired. I'm still tired. And today was insane, man. With the amount of shoots, because I was away Monday,
Oh, so everything
Tuesday,
built up.
Wednesday. I pushed a lot of clients back to Thursday. So my schedule for Thursday was like, okay, another one, another one, another one, another one. So it was bam, 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 bam. Um, back to back to back shoots today. And I was like, shit. I'm like that. But it worked out because it was raining. And it's fine. Like, you shoot in the rain. Like, you don't get a chance to choose the weather when you do this. So you just shoot in the rain. And it was great because a lot of times, like, once the rain started, okay, no drone. I love that. I love when I don't have to get a drone out of there, because the one thing I hate is the fact that I have to take the SD card out of the drone. And when I come back to load files to the computer, I hate the fact that I have to like, that's how late, like, you get that way though. Like, you got to take your SD card, put it in, offload files from one, and then you got to offload files from another one. You got to go back out.
Yeah,
It's
it's
annoying.
tedious hassle. Yeah.
Annoying. Sometimes you just get lazy and, like, sort of complacent in that, and that's how I felt. So, but yeah, good to be home finally, at least. Was B-Man saying it's because Dobo heard the trolls from commenting by making them have to sub. So yeah, so one of the easiest ways to 86 having trolls is to, in the stream settings, one of the options is, do you want to make this a stream where only members can comment? Which I don't find that fair, because okay, if you're going to comment, you don't need to like, then you have to be a member and you have to pay, I think it's $1.99 to comment, which is silly. Or you can just subscribe to the channel, wait 10 minutes, and then you can lambast me. Or you just don't comment at all because you're not subscribed. But the vast majority of people that are commenting were pretty much already subscribed anyways, so that works out even better. And yeah, it's, I
Also,
mean,
this one is a subscriber only.
yeah, I make it to where I've been doing it where it's subscriber only, because sometimes some of these comments that people say are just so out there, so stupid. And I
Yeah.
think to myself, no right mind subscriber would ever say something that's stupid. These are trolls that don't have a face. So by making them subscribe, it's almost like painting them. It's almost like punishing them. If they want to say something stupid, you're going to have to subscribe to say something stupid. It's a small price to pay, right? You know,
Big price to pay.
and here's the thing: if they really don't like me, they can just hit the dislike button or whatever, and I still won't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. What is it? Mavic 3 obtaining GPS lock is about to get Ken wound up. No, we talked about that. I wasn't wound up at all. I'm happy. I'm happy because they're acknowledging that. I mean, they've acknowledged that. And this was this stream is for two reasons this stream is successful, Eddie. One, it's watchable, right? It's watchable.
Mhm.
Two, I've said a minimum. I've said a minimum of curse words. I think I said three curse words. Three.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe three. That may be on the high end of the things. And we kept the stream on topic. So where everybody gets mad because the streams go off the rails, we kept it on topic for the 95% of the stream. 95% of the stream, this was probably the most watchable on topic stream for the most part. And number three, did I say three or four? If there was a number four, is Paul isn't streaming tonight. I always feel like when Paul is streaming, my numbers are lower because he just steals so much of the thunder. Like, everybody goes and watches Paul stream when we double stream. Like, he steals all the thunder. He takes it all away from me, and then nobody watches this stream because Paul's streaming, because everybody's like, I love Paul. I love his white balance. That guy Kyle's hair looks great. The lighting's
Yeah.
amazing.
I jumped on his stream yesterday and I told him, he was like, "Hey, you're double streaming." I'm like, "No, we
Nah.
canceled our show to give you an opportunity to stream today." And he was like, "Oh, he typed in literally, he goes, 'Oh, that's so sweet of you.'"
No, that's not what happened. It's gotta be almost an act of God for us not to stream. Like, it's one of those situations where I got home at like 8:30 last night and I was just like, yeah,
That's
we're
rough.
not gonna make it
Yeah,
tonight. Like, I
it's
don't have
rough.
the energy.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't have the
rough.
energy. And I mean, technically, I mean, there was bigger things that were going through my mind, Eddie. There was bigger things. Last night was officially the first night that I could have sex. So
Oh,
I
congratulations.
know, right? Is that great or what? So,
That's
I mean,
and that
I feel like I like to be transparent. So
without saying too much, how did it feel, Ken?
it was very slow, dude. It was very slow. You ever get that joke, man, where it's
Your
just
wife
like,
is watching, she's gonna kill you, by
no, no,
the
no,
way.
no. Just a tip, Ed. Just a tip.
Okay.
Just a tip. It still counts, Ed. It still counts. Still counts.
It's very dangerous to go in there after a woman has a baby.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's like you're at 99.9% sure to get them pregnant again.
I live dangerously. I live dangerously, Eddie. I like to gamble. Did I tell you what happened today?
What happened to her?
So I bought a lottery. I bought a scratch off ticket, right?
Oh, yes.
And in
Heard yeah.
Florida, they just started this new thing, this $50 scratch off ticket. And I was joking around with my daughter. I said, you could scratch a number off. I let her, my 9-year-old, I said, you can scratch a number off. And I was just joking with her. I said, if you scratch a number off and you win, you can keep the money. Guess what the fuck happened on the first scratch, Eddie?
She hit big.
She hit big. And guess who doesn't have any money? Me.
Yeah. She kept
Zero.
it.
Zero.
Nice.
She kept every
She's
single bit of it.
she's had the happiest little girl today.
She's like, I can't believe it. She's walking in the house with all this money. She's like, Mom, I went to IHOP with Dad, and look what I won. And she's like, how did she win
IHOP.
money? And I'm like, and I had explained to her. I said, we went. I said, I bought it because I was just like, I had money left over from Vegas. I said, I'll just do it. And I told. She's like, she what? And she went right into her piggy bank, dude. And she shoved $5 in that piggy bank deep down, and it's never coming out.
Oh, that's exciting
So
though when you see your kids do
it's
that.
gone. That money is gone.
Yeah.
So, but she was so stoked, dude.
I
So,
could imagine. Yeah, 500. $500 to a kid is like it's like
oh,
having
dude, her face lit up, and I
$1,000,000.
was just like, how am I gonna get this back? How am I gonna get this back?
Start,
So,
start charging for stuff.
yeah. Well, what I'm gonna do is, what I'm planning on doing is, every time she fucks up or does something wrong, I'm going to sanction her, and
Sanction her.
I'm gonna sanction her, and I'll get money back eventually. So that's how I'll get my money back with sanctions.
Smart
Um,
businessman.
yeah, smart practices. So that's how we do it. Um, yeah, I just couldn't believe it. It was like all the luck. I was like, where were you when I was in Las Vegas? If I could have had my 9-year-old at the craps table, that would have been it. Hmm. So,
Good
alrighty.
time.
Well, that is going to do it for tonight's stream. I hope you all enjoyed as much as Eddie did. I mean, he's just enjoyed this so very much. And stay original.
Peace out.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. 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 Yeah. Maybe all my exes just drinking themselves crazy tonight. Maybe I should call and say, told you I'd be right. Wondering how long it was before you realized the biggest mistake of your life, and now you're paying the price. Oh, is it confidence or confusion? Either way, I feel like I ain't.
Good stream, Ed.
It was a great stream.
It was a good stream.
I like this time. You get a different type of audience. No, same audience, but
Same audience.
more.
Same audience.
I don't know. I feel like we were more matured. You were definitely more matured.
Was I? I felt like I
Yeah.
was going to a dark place towards the end, but I think we have to strike that vibe of just sort of like somewhere in the middle, Ed.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle.
This was good. And you know what? We kept this was as a surprise to your audience, so it was a nice
Yeah,
change.
yeah, it was good because yeah, it was good because it was on a different night. I mean, and we did a good job. We were respectful. We waited 2 hours. If you need to stream any longer than 2 hours, you shouldn't be streaming at all. That's my philosophy. Who's going to watch a stream for more than 2 hours, right?
That's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, and the biggest takeaway tonight was that Thursday nights are a viable night to do live streams as long as you stay on topic. We kept
Yes.
it classy, man. I think we kept it classy.
Yep.
Good. Well, next week though, we're back to Wednesdays though. Next week.
Okay.
And I think I'm done with the PBR. No more PBR.
Are you still drinking that?
It's all I had left in the fridge. I need to go grocery shopping. That's all I had left in the fridge. I mean, Pabst Blue Ribbons. Like, what are you drinking? I never even asked you
Margaritas
tonight.
IPA.
How you like that? Is that any good?
You never had this? This is like my go-to now.
No, dude. I almost like I was thinking about it today. I'm like, do I really want to drink? Because I mean, there was a point where I was walking down the strip and I was just like, I ended up at a Ross. I bought so many pants. I bought stretchy pants. I bought all different types of pants. I need to go. I'm going to work out this week. That's a goal. I'm going to go to the gym. Go to the gym.
Yeah, I put on some weight myself, and what I started doing to encourage myself to maybe, start losing weight is I went to the 99-cent store and I bought cheap leggings.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I wear now when I go out. Like when
Really?
I'm doing my Target runs. Yeah, people laugh at me. They look at me like I'm stupid, but it gives me motivation that I have to go work out. The worst is when I wear like my nice exotic underwears and
Uh-huh.
you can see through my pants. And sometimes I like to tuck in my shirt too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I can see that. I can
yeah,
see that.
you should try it
Um,
out. I mean, like I'm thinking maybe even start a YouTube channel around this because I'm not getting as much views around my drone videos.
yeah, but if you
Mm.
shake your ass, like TikTok, you shake your ass.
Yeah, like
I
it's
was
I
just
think
thinking about like I was thinking about that. Like
yeah,
just maybe
I
just
think
just wear a thong or once or twice, but not like a bad thong, but a
no,
good
no, no.
thong.
Like,
Yeah.
everyone is talking about diversity and inclusion, and how the
Diversity.
world is changing. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay for you to. I mean, I've been practicing. I think it's okay for you to twerk a little. I mean, my wife is showing me some moves.
Is she showing you moves right now, Ed?
Yeah, I think it's time to innovate myself. I want to be different. I don't know. I'm trying to find myself, and right now I'm finding myself with leggings.
I'm having a hard time imagining that, but if you do it, I'll do it, okay? And then we'll do it together, and then it's not weird because we're doing this together. I made the right decision when I hired you as co-host, and I said to you, I said, Eddie, you're coming on the show. No benefits, there's no pay, there's no glory, but golly, I made the right decision.
I'm
It
happy
was
to be
either
here.
you, I was either going to hire you.
I like that word hire. I'm waiting for a paycheck. I
Well,
think
you know
I
what it
gave you
is?
my
It's
direct
think about
deposit
this.
form
It's like
5
an
times
investment
already.
into your future, Eddie. This is an investment into your future.
Is it? Oh, so what does that mean? My paycheck is going into like a pension fund, and then I'll see it when I
Well, it's going
retire?
into escrow. It's escrow.
Escrow, okay.
Escrow. It's going into escrow. We don't know what's going to happen. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Think back about how much this stream has made. How much has this stream made this entire year, Ed?
Upwards of 30K for sure.
No, no, Eddie, no. This stream has made $340 this year.
It sounds like you're in the right trajectory. Maybe
No, we're to the moon, baby. We're to
yeah,
the moon.
yeah.
It's like crypto. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey man, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll start planning.
Okay.
We'll plan.
I'll send you some of the leggings so you can try them out.
Yeah, you send me them.
Okay.
Send them.
Sounds
Just
good.
put them in the UPS though. All right.
Will do. Will do.
Okay.
Over.